Hello everyone, welcome to BVLSI Design lecture number 25E. Today we are going to realize a compact XNOR gate using a technique number 2. So let us directly start with the design. So this is the circuit diagram for a compact transistor level implementation of a compact 2-input XNOR gate. So we have two transistors, two PMOS transistors, MP1 and MP2, connected in this fashion, and we have cross-coupled two NMOS transistors, MN1 and MN2, connected in this fashion. So the two inputs are connected over here at the source terminal, both the source terminal of your NMOS transistors, and we have named the voltages as VA and VB, measured with respect to ground. So the output is taken from here, which is marked as Y, or in terms of voltages, we can mark it as V out. The number of transistors required to implement this compact XNOR circuit is 4, and we are considering the VDD to be 5 volt. Now, all of us know the truth table for the XNOR gate, that whenever both the inputs are same, the output is 1, else the output is 0. Okay, and here we assume a stronger pull down network, that is MN1 and MN2 are stronger than the pull up network, that is consisting of MP1 and MP2. So that's one assumption which we are making. Okay, so let's directly dive into the working. Okay, so in this case, if my voltages VA and VB are 0 and 0 volt, so what will happen? If you apply a 0 volt to the gate of your NMOS transistor, if you apply a 0 volt over here, the MN1 and MN2 transistors will be off. Hence, they are represented as an open circuit, and MN1 and MN2 are off, have shown over here. Simultaneously, the same 0 volts is applied to the gate of MP1 and MP2, turning them on. Hence, the output voltage is pulled up towards VDD via your both the transistors MP1 and MP2. Okay, that means your output voltage is a strong logic 1 or equal to VDD. In this case, MN1 and MN2 are off and MP1 and MP2 are on. Let us check that in the truth table. So here it is. Here we have VA and VB as 0, 0. So MP1 and MP2 are on, whereas other transistors are off. And at the output, we get a strong logic 1, that is 5 volts. Let us go into the next case. In the next case, when we have VA and VB as 5 volt, what really happens is that once we have this 5 volt given to the gate terminals of both the cross-coupled NMOS transistors MN1 and MN2, they turn on, whereas simultaneously the same voltage VA and VB, that is A and B, 5 volts and 5 volts, is given to the gate terminal of MP2 and MP1, turning them off. So basically your VDD is disconnected from your output because the pull-up network is off. Now, but if you really draw this pull-down network carefully and you rearrange it in this form, you will get it as follows. So over here we have applied VDD, that is 5 volt, and here also we have applied VDD, and these two transistors are in parallel, we can say. So MN1 and MN2, the gate voltage is 5 volt, and we are try to pass a 5 volt, a logic 1. And we know for a fact that logic 1, if you pass through a NMOS pass transistor, it will produce a weak logic 1. That is, the output will be VDD minus VTN, whereas it will pass logic 0 very strongly. So here what we are doing actually is, we are actually passing a logic 1, that is 5 volt. So definitely at the output, you will get a weak logic 1. Okay. So in this case, MN1 and MN2 are on. Let us check the truth table. So for both the input voltages 5 and 5 volt, that is V and VB, and MN1 and MN2 being on, output voltage will be Vmax, which is given by VDD minus VTN. Hence, we can say that we get a weak logic 1 over here in this case. And your MN1 and MN2 acts as the N-pass transistors. Okay, so responding to the logic 1, it's giving a weak logic 1 at the output in case of NMOS pass transistor. Okay, now let us check the next case. In the next case, we have A as logic 0, that is 0 volt, and VB as 5 volt. So VB as 5 volt will turn on MN1 and it will turn off MP1. Okay, whereas VA as 0 volt will turn off MN2 and it will turn on MP2. Okay, so what really will happen is your in spite of MP2 being on, these are two transistors are connected in series. Okay, let me just expand it over here like this. So MP1 and MP2 are in series, so even if one of them is off, your entire pull-up network is gone. So output, the VDD is disconnected from the output at all. Okay, now since your MN1 is transistor is on, actually here it is written wrong, it should be on. So since MN1 is on, your output will be pulled down towards your ground with the help of this part. We can see clearly your output is pulled down towards your ground. Okay, so only that this mistake, MN1 is on because we are applying a 5 volts to its gate terminal. So the output will be pulled down towards your ground with the help of MN1 transistor. So in this case, whenever VA is 0 and VB is 5, MP1 and MN2 are off, whereas remaining transistors are on and your V out will be 0. So MP1 and MN2. Okay, yeah, over here. So whenever VA is 5 and VB is 0, MP1 and MN2 are on and we get a strong logic 0. Okay, that's what we have seen over here. I guess this is for 0 and 5. When VA is 0 volt and VB is 5 volt, in that case your MN1 and MP2 are on. Okay, let us check that once. Yeah, when it is 0 and 5, MN1 and MP2 is on. Yeah, correct. So I've checked the other case. So last case will be 5 volt and 0 volt. Let us check that. Yeah, VA is 5 volt, VB is 0 volt. So it is very straightforward over here. In this case, we have VA as 5 volt, so that will make the MN2 transistor on, the NMOS transistor on. And since VB is 0, it is applied to the gate of MN1, making it off. But at the same time, MP1 will be on because if you apply 0 volt to the gate of PMOS transistor, that will be on. But 5 volt applied to the gate of MP2 will make it off. So your pull-up network will be off basically. Here it is, pull-up network will be off because these two transistors are connected in series. So your VDD will be disconnected from the output. Okay. Now your since MN2 is on, the output will be pulled down towards the ground via this transistor. Okay. So here we get a strong logic 0. Here we have MP1 and MN2 on. Let us check that now in the truth table. So this in this case we have VA as 5 volt, VB as 0 volt, and we have MP1 and MN2 on, and we get a strong logic 0. So only for one case, that is for whenever VA and VB is 5 and 5 volt, we are getting output as a weak one, else we are getting a strong one and a strong 0. Okay, now let us just check if anything is left out from this PDF. No. Okay, so what we will do now is, since we have checked all the cases, all the 4 cases, we'll go to the LT Spice schematic and we'll see the analysis in that. So this is the LT Spice version of the same. Okay, so here we have the pull-up network consisting of 2 PMOS transistors, and here we have the cross-coupled NMOS transistors which are connected. So if you see carefully, this is the same network. So we have 2 NMOS transistors cross-coupled connected to the output. Okay, and we have VA voltage over here, VB over here. This is the V out, and as the pull-up network, we have 2 PMOS transistors connected in series like this, in this fashion. Okay, now let me just put to full screen. So over here, the VA value are given 0 and 5. Delay time is 5 millisecond. The pulse characteristics are given over here. Rise time and fall time is 10 picosecond. On time is 5 milli. Period is 10 millisecond, and cycles are 10. Similarly for B, we have similar thing, except the delay time is 1.2 millisecond. Rise time and fall time is 10 picoseconds. On time is 5 milli, and period is 8 milliseconds, and the number of cycles are 10. This is the specifications of A and B. And also in the dot model statement, we have given these parameters. W by L, VTO is zero point 0.6 and minus zero point 0.6 for NMOS and PMOS respectively, and the KP values are given. So basically here we have made the pull down, pull down network, that is NMOS transistors little bit stronger. So we are giving here lesser value. Let me give it as, so this will make the pull down network stronger compared to your pull up network. Okay, now let me simulate this. So I'll go to simulate, click on run, and I'll get a blank screen. So we have given here dot tran with a 25 millisecond duration. So I'll divide this into three planes, one for VA, VB, and output. So the first is VA voltage, then next we have VB, and at the last we have V out. So that's the V out. Okay, now let's check the cases in detail. Now let me just put this half screen so that we can check both simultaneously, the table as well as the combination. Okay, I guess this is visible now. This much is visible. I've divided the screen into two halves. Left hand side we have the PDF, okay, and the right hand side we have the waveforms. So let's check the first condition. So let me take the cursor and check the first condition. The first condition is VA and VB 0, 0. So the output will be a strong 1. Here it is 5 volts. Okay. Next case we have 0 and 5 volt. So 0 and 5 volt we should get a strong 0, and we are getting that 26.39 nanovolt, which is as good as 0. And the next condition is 1 and 1. Okay, so in case if VA and VB are both 5 volt, then we get a weak logic 1, and we get a Vmax value. So here we are getting 4.395. Actually it should be VDD minus VTN, and here the VTN value is given as 0.6, as you can see very clearly. Okay, and VDD is 5. So 5 volt minus 0.6, that should give us 4.4, but here we are getting 4.395. That's quite close. So for 1 and 1 combination, for 5 volt and 5 volt combination, we are getting a weak 1 logic 1. Okay, then we'll check the next case, that is 5 volt and 0 volt. So for 5 volt and 0 volt we are getting a strong 0. Yeah, that is correct. Then again we have 1 and 1, that is 5 volt and 5 volt, and again we have the same value, 4.394. Okay, so this is the weak logic 1 for both, whenever both the inputs are high. Let us check one more two conditions. So this is again 0 volt and 5 volt. For 0 volt and 5 volt, again we are getting a strong logic 0. And let us check one more last condition, 0 and 0 again. So whenever we have a 0 and 0, 0 volt and 0 volt for both the inputs, output is 5 volt. Okay, here it is exactly clearly visible, 5 volt, and we can say we have we have a strong logic 1 over here. So in this way we can check the remaining functionality of this circuit, but only limitation of the circuit is that we have a weak logic 1. So the output voltage swing is limited. So to overcome this feedback, we can connect an extra CMOS inverter at the output. So here I've given the output to this inverter, and at the output of the inverter I've called it as V out bar. Only thing is that it increases the number of transistor count, and also the functionality changes. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let me add one more plane plot. Let me push it up, VA, VB, and V out, and let me plot the output after adding an inverter. So what I was saying was it is changing the functionality. Earlier it was acting as a XNOR functionality. Now it has become XOR. So you can clearly make out it is exactly opposite of whatever we got as V out. So just basically by adding an extra inverter, we are changing the functionality of the circuit to from XNOR to XOR. Now V out bar will give us XOR output, but here we see we get a very strong logic high and logic low. So that limitation which we had in XNOR design, of a weak logic one for this particular combination is gone now. But at the same time, the functionality of the circuit has changed. So with the with the inclusion of the CMOS inverter, we have converted this XNOR design into a XOR gate design. Okay, I guess we have completed more or less everything with respect to the LT spice as well as the PDF. Let me check. Yes, all the cases are verified conceptually and they are also verified in LT spice. So that's it for this session. Next time we will see another compact circuit with some other technique. Until then, have a good day and thank you.